This is Lois Frazier. Lois is not a professional actress. She is a recovered drug addict with a story to tell. Her mother was an exotic dancer and drug addict. Lois followed her mother's footsteps at a very young age, dancing in nightclubs for money, falling into drugs, and getting involved with older men.
People say, oh, aren't you ashamed? I mean, why are you telling people about your life? Why are you letting people know what you did back in the days, you know, like that? You got to.
Lois is part of And Still We Rise, a support group and performance troupe in Boston for people who have been impacted by prison.
They've had some experience with the prison system. Either personally, they've been incarcerated, or they've had loved ones who've been incarcerated.
Dev Luthra is a theater artist and teacher. Luthra guides the participants as they shape those stories into performance.
They are the experts of their own story. It's not some skill they had to learn. It's not some foreign information. They know what the hell they're talking about.
What they're talking about are struggles with addiction, sexual abuse, and violence.
Each participant tells their own story. Then each person has an opportunity to cast other people in their own scene as we shape it dramatically.
And Still We Rise was founded in 2005 by a team of prison-based advocacy workers and theater artists who noticed that certain inmates actually had a natural gift for storytelling. Their mission statement reads, "To bring a personal voice to the public for the purpose of healing, empowerment, education, and social change."
So the empowerment and the healing is very much for the participants. The education and the social change is the message, is what we want to get out there to the public.
And Still We Rise recruits participants every year. They typically rehearse twice a week from January through March and tour the performance for the rest of the year. The troupe is currently in its 5th cycle, and the current cast features 2 men and 7 women.
When we recruit people, we put them through 3 orientation workshops where they do theater games and so on, and I talk about the structure of the piece.
Each season, the pieces revolve around a common theme.
This cycle, it seems that the theme is about love.
And my mother's going to be difficult, but I love you enough to know that I want you to move in with me.
Kim Smith is a returning participant who tells a story about a complicated relationship between her mother and her boyfriend that ended in a violent assault.
I told you! You deserve it!
Smith and the rest of the cast follow up on their stories in a talkback after each show.
My mother lived 20 years after her stabbing. She was stabbed 40 to 45 times. He did 25 to life. He's up for parole next year. I have a 20-year drug addiction, incarcerated 3 years and a day.
This was my home for the next 5 years. I could almost touch the walls. This was my bed.
Saul Rahman is a former Marine who was first incarcerated in 1977. He was released just 3 years ago.
I'm not a bad guy. I'm not a tough guy. You know, I did my time. Tough people didn't bother me inside prison.
Rahman does not reveal the specific charges that kept him in prison for 30 years, but he does reveal that his mother's death contributed to a new lifestyle.
I got into a lifestyle, you see, because I was angry. Like narcotics, drugs. Let me tell you, I had a team, and we ran some drugs all over the world.
Vanity Reyes has never been to prison, but prison has cast a long shadow in her life. She is one of 13 children. 3 of her brothers have been to prison for drug-related offenses. However, her story is far more personal.
I'm not sure if I should do it, but then at the same time, I want to do it because it feels good that I want to say what I went through.
Reyes says she was first sexually abused beginning when she was just 9.
Are you done?
No.
Are you done?
No.
Reyes, who is a mother herself, has an important request for the audience.
Parents who have a child, please protect your kids. Don't trust no one.
The group's participants have not only been through hard times in the past, but face social challenges today.
It is incredibly important that people hear these stories and understand the realities of being incarcerated, the realities of returning to the community, the realities of the struggle that the individual is going through.
For them to get a job somewhere and learn skills and stuff is a major, major ordeal.
Performances are free and open to the public, but the group does charge their hosts a performance fee.
We've performed at universities and they can usually pay us our full fee. We've performed in people's living rooms and they don't, and we pass the hat.
The performance fee, currently $1,800 to $2,000, has increased with the size of the cast. Actors get paid for every performance, but the amounts vary depending on the donations collected for that show. And Still We Rise has recently received a grant from the Boston Cultural Council, their first non-performance-based funding.
We want to get the message out more than we need to make the money.
And the message has spread throughout Massachusetts.
This is my 4th time attending.
You get the emotion all over again. There are things I laughed at that I haven't laughed at in months.
It was wonderful. They really were very brave, and it's difficult to tell those kind of personal stories, and they did a wonderful job.
Soon, these stories will be finding their way to another state. The Catholic Prison Ministry in San Jose, California has invited And Still We Rise for a performance, all expenses paid. Managing Director Bob David hopes the stories the actors tell on stage can have power far beyond their own lives.
We love it when criminal justice majors or law students see this, because it can't help but open their eyes and hearts a little bit.
The actors received a standing ovation. Saul Rahman speaks for his fellow cast members when he says what brought him here.
Hope. See, without hope, I wouldn't be sitting here. Without hope, I wouldn't be sitting here.